Have you ever had to choose between staying in a comfortable, stable place or taking a risk and pursuing a new, scary opportunity? I'd love to hear yours below. Let me tell you mine. Today I invite you to join me on an emotional roller coaster as I say goodbye to Google. I quit my job at Google to work at a startup many months ago, but before embarking on my new adventure, I had 38 hours in which I had to get my feature approved for production, say goodbye to my colleagues, return my office equipment, write my epitaph, take a flight to London, and get into the Google London office before I lose my corporate access because sleeping in the London office nap pods had been on my bucket list. I also had a special guest join me on my last day at the Toronto office.
Hello!
Tiff from Tiff and Tech, who I snuck into the building by telling people she's my intern.
She's my assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Going up.
I wanted to show her the secret room before I left. Stick around to see the secret room at the end. And she shared some huge news with me that made me feel so much more confident in my own decisions.
She's gonna pretend she's a Googler. She's part of the team now.
I'll also tell you a huge mistake I made before leaving, and that's not all. This was also the last day before a huge event, which was return to office. So there were a ton of special RTO events, festivities.
Can I get one too?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Yay.
And challenges of returning to the office after a long period of working from home.
So they set up this huge photo stop for return to office.
So let me take you along to show you how I made the most of my last day at Google Toronto.
So this is the Adelaide building, and it's, in my opinion, so much nicer.
You know what they say, all good things must come to an end. And so it was my last day at the Google Toronto office. I usually work from the Waterloo office, but all my colleagues went to the Toronto office today, and I actually didn't tell most of my colleagues that I was quitting until they asked. I kept it very secret because I'm a chronic oversharer and I signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, at my new startup, so I couldn't talk at all about what I'm working on next. I only told my closest friends and family and some people that happened to ask. I told Tiff, and you wouldn't believe her response. But before I saw Tiff at lunch, I had a lot of work to do. As a software engineer, I was working on a feature that I wanted to push to production before I left. I was working on Gmail's network reliability tests, and honestly, it felt like I barely got to contribute what I wanted to. Not nearly as much as I thought I would. I at least wanted to push this big feature to prod before I left. But there was so much red tape, I had to get approvals for a lot of things because we work with very sensitive user data and permissions, and my feature also needed to be in testing for a minimum time before releasing it, and I already missed the date for the release cycle, so I had to leave my code at a logical conclusion and hope there wasn't too much left to do for my replacement. And yes, I did already have a replacement who just joined days before I left. I wouldn't recommend that any of you do this, but I told my manager about my plan to quit Google almost 5 months before actually quitting. I was a little too googly, and I didn't want to leave my small team of 4 without much notice, so I told my manager to find a replacement for me actually around this time last year. So even though I only had to formally give 30 days notice, I gave over 4 months notice. There's a lot of reasons that things happen this way, and I was very lucky to have a good relationship with my manager/team lead, but in general, this is a really bad idea. Don't do this. I just felt bad since the Google hiring process takes about 6 months on average. Mine took almost a year, and I didn't want to burden my teammates with extra work since we're such a small team. Obviously, they'd be fine, and I'm sure they are. And I feel like this created more pressure as I was afraid of not finishing things on time and disappointing my colleagues and them thinking that I don't care about my work anymore because I'm leaving anyways. So life advice, always give the bare minimum notice required. Companies wouldn't give you anything more, so you don't have to give them anything more in return.
Lollipops for everyone, let me show you.
Going up.
The dinos.
They're so cute. So some spots are restricted. But anyway, we're gonna go meet up with my friends now.
Anyway, I didn't end up finishing everything as I originally planned, but it seemed the director was happy with my work since he gave good feedback on a document I made about all my contributions before I left. I also said goodbye to my team in a virtual meeting today. We used to be a small team of 4 when I joined, and now we doubled in size when I left in the summer. So the hiring truly was crazy. So much so that Google allowed a lot of us to be fully remote since we can't even fit everyone in the office. So I became fully remote. But funny enough, we're still allowed to bring guests. So I was getting ready to bring Tiff as a guest to the Google Toronto office.
So I'm now on my way to collect Tiff and Tech from downstairs. She's visiting me for lunch.
Turns out I needed special access for the Toronto elevator now. So I submitted a ticket. After all, Google is still a big corporation and you need to submit a ticket for everything. But the good news is that everyone is super efficient and googly, which means they're on top of things. I got Tiff in the building and I told my coworkers she was my intern and they actually believed me for a second.
She's my assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
Going up.
Rocking a cute outfit.
I love it.
Of course.
Yes, right
Yeah,
back
yeah.
at you.
Are we even
We're
moving?
sneaking in, but now we're not moving. This is the. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh wait, I feel like we are now.
Oh,
shoot,
we're going down. we're gonna figure it out. See you at lunch.
It was quite funny. And we had an awesome lunch outside.
Yay! So Tiff is my guest today.
Guys,
I told Tiff that I was getting ready to leave Google and I had mixed feelings about my decision because on one hand, I was excited to start a new adventure and work for a startup, but on the other hand, I was leaving behind a comfortable and stable job at one of the most prestigious tech companies in the world. Leaving a familiar and comfortable environment with such smart and amazing people for the unknown was kind of daunting. But here's the twist. Tiff told me she had just quit her job at IBM 2 days ago. So we came full circle since I met up with her right after my first day when I switched to a software engineer position back in 2021. And seeing her make the same choice to leave her corporate job made me feel like I was making the right decision too. It felt like everything was going to be okay. If you ever had to make a tough decision like this, let me know in the comments below. It's often hard to leave a cushy job for something new and risky, but sometimes taking risks and pursuing new opportunities can be the best decision for personal and professional growth. Taking that leap of faith can lead to great things. Now, I'm not at all suggesting you quit your job on a whim or anything like that, but this can be applied to anything in life. It's important to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's the only way we can grow. So I guess this is my way of trying to say it's okay to be scared of new things. It usually means you're growing and doing something right.
Check it out. We got props. We got TTH photo booth. So this seems like a great opportunity to film content here. All right, so we are gonna get some ice cream and join my friends in the secret room.
After lunch, I had a few hours to say goodbye to my colleagues and show Tiff around the office.
All right, so Tiff just left and I'm going to the secret room.
For me, leaving Google was scary, and I miss my colleagues a lot. I made some friendships there that will last forever.
Found it.
But this whole experience taught me that even stability is not always what it seems. It's important to take chances and good opportunities when they arise. After all, who knows what exciting opportunities are waiting for us on the other side. In the next video, I'll take you to the Google London office where I ended up losing corporate access after crashing there that night. The security had to let me back in to get my things. It was pretty hilarious that everyone thought it was normal that I slept there.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and
subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for more of my tech escapades and lessons learned along the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.